The president and his allies losing 3 court rulings just this Thursday, one in Georgia, another in Pennsylvania and Arizona, which means some 29 lawsuits and counting have either been lost, dismissed or withdrawn in the series of post-election cases initiated by the losing side. And with the Georgia hand recount affirming the Biden win in a state that hasn't voted Democrat since 1992, the president's options, both legal and political, are dwindling. The state's top election official, who happens to be a Republican, has received death threats and come under intense pressure from members of his own party to resign, but has held firm.
Working as an engineer throughout my life, I lived by the motto that numbers don't lie. As Secretary of State, I believe that the numbers that we have presented today are correct. The numbers reflect the verdict of the people.
While the evidence of widespread electoral fraud remains slim to negligible at best, the president and his top surrogates continue to make baseless and wild claims about how the election was rigged, often pointing to Democratic cities with large black populations who turned out in their numbers to support Joe Biden.
The company counting our vote, with control over our vote, is owned by 2 Venezuelans who were allies of Chavez, are present allies of Maduro, with a company whose chairman is a close associate and business partner of George Soros, the biggest donor to the Democrat Party, the biggest donor to Antifa, and the biggest donor to Black Lives Matter. My goodness, what do we have to do to get you to give our people the truth?
The latest debunked conspiracy from Giuliani and his team that voting machines used in multiple states were manipulated to switch votes for the president in favor of his challenger.
One of its most characteristic features is its ability to flip votes. It can set and run an algorithm that probably ran all over the country to take a certain percentage of votes from President Trump and flip them to President Biden, which we might never have uncovered had the votes for President Trump not been so overwhelming in so many of these states that it broke the algorithm that had been plugged into the system.
Not so, at least according to the Department of Homeland Security's Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Agency that called the November 3rd election the most secure in American history, adding that there is no evidence that any voting system deleted, lost, or changed votes.
I think they're witnessing incredible irresponsibility, incredibly damaging messages being sent to the rest of the world about how democracy functions. And I think it is well, I don't know his motive, but I just think it's totally irresponsible.
Are you concerned he may succeed, that people may question the legitimacy of your administration?
No, I'm not concerned. The vast majority of the American people, they've already, all the polling data has indicated, although the Republicans who worry about it is higher, but over 78% of the American people believe it's, without question, it's legitimate. I think this is debilitating. It sends a horrible message about who we are as a country.
States have until December 8th to meet a deadline for resolving all electoral disputes and seating electors to the Electoral College. Those electors then choose the next president of the United States on December 14th based on who won the popular vote in each state. For example, the 16 votes or electors in the state of Michigan, which Biden won by over 150,000 votes. With reports now that President Trump has invited Republican lawmakers from that state to the White House Friday in what would appear to be an effort to seat electors who might be willing to ignore the popular vote in the state in Trump's favor. At least that's the working theory for now. Sherman Bryce-Pease, SABC News, New York.